Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another exciting Propagandacast with me, your host, Imperial Dane. And today I have for you a 1 vs 1 on Sturzdorf. Yes, indeed, it will be Sturzdorf today, not Samoa, which has been often cast this week, but no, it shall be Sturzdorf. The quaint industrial town somewhere, although never quite where we do know, I do not know. That sentence did absolutely make no bloody sense, I apologize. But let's get to it. We do have a 1 vs 1 town, rather sort of divided, if we can get it sort of sensibly shown. Of course, heavy industrial and urban for that matter. Lots of buildings, lots of things that can actually block your line of fire besides your line of sight, which of course can make it a bit harder to defend, and in some cases, if you know how to work it, a lot easier to attack, because then you can sort of move through the buildings, avoid the defenders' fire, and then get up real close. And in some cases, for example, weapons like PACs and MGs can find themselves a lot less useful. Of course, that is dependent on many things. Of course, barbed wire, tank traps and mines can of course be used to great effect as well. So that of course is important to note and useful to note. High resource points are sort of right here at the edges of the map. High, and a high fuel point right there, surrounded by quite a bit of strategic points. That's nice to know, and of course probably quite valuable to know. Otherwise, one will note that the usual point where most of the fighting happens is right here again, sort of the shortest point between the two bases. Sometimes fighting might sort of draw out towards here, but usually it's around here, in fact. So, let's go have a look at our two warring opponents in the southern corner. It shall be Chinas32. No idea what that's supposed to mean, but there he is, Chinas32. Wehrmacht of the... I don't know, what do we say, what fun shall we have? Let's just say it's the 91st Luftlande division, and they shall be up against the 4th Infantry division under Bunnytester, he who has tested the bunnies with great vigor and enthusiasm. So let us get right down to it, let's get started, let's see what these two chaps will be doing. Wehrmacht quarters going down, nothing unusual there, I'd hope. Good luck, have fun, a bit of politeness. Bags going up for Bunnytester. Probably not going to be filled with bunnies though. Now the Pioneers pops out. Does not get to work on the Wehrmacht quarters. No, they should instead head outwards into the great unknown of Sturzdorf. All quiet. All very, very quiet in fact. Barracks is up. Engineers heading to each their own. And while engineers and pioneers are sort of reflected as sort of the same unit right here in Company of Heroes, in the actual war they didn't quite have the same role. Pioneers were closer to actual combat troops, in fact assault troops, whereas engineers were sort of the chaps who ran around and the rear lines sort of got work done. The pioneers were expected to do not just that, but also attack fortified positions and such. They were some rather tough buggers. So there you go, a bit of fun information, and of course Panzer Pioneers would have been to Pioneers what Panzer Grenadiers are to regular Grenadiers. And Pioneers securing what territory they can. Fuel point right there. Of course this fuel point does tend to get a bit harassed. Again, it's sort of in an awkward position, making it a bit harder to hold. And whoever takes it can usually hide between the buildings to a certain degree. Same here, in fact you can't really get to it without having to get close, which can give your opponent ample time to actually get out of there. Tiresome. But securing points right here. Volkswagen is going for this point, and what is he doing? He's laying down some sandbags. It's not an entirely bad idea. It's what some players do, usually the more clever ones, when they try to take a point and they actually expect to take a bit of fighting here and they don't really want to get shot as much. They lay down some sandbag first so they can take the point in a rather relative safety. So if they get attacked, they will still be in heavy cover, and so can fight back with relative ease. Engineers moving down south here to engage the Pioneers. MG42 arriving from the Wehrmacht quarters. Pioneers slowly pulling back. Volkswagen is firing away in support of the Pioneers. Riflemen in the north, will they move in? Or will they not help with their engineer brethren? Apparently Bunnytester has decided otherwise. Engineer goes down. Volksgrenadiers challenges ahead, and of course what shall be happening right now, of course we have no idea. It could be the usual, let's get a lot of riflemen, then get some BARs, or let's get a lot of riflemen, then get some M8s, or possibly let's get some riflemen, then get weapon support, send us some mortars. Riflemen out in the open, want to get into cover. Again, you want to have your troops in cover. Standing out like that is usually what you'd consider a bad idea. Riflemen here continuing, they're not moving in to assist their comrades, although then again there's an MG42 covering this area. So of course within that sort of area where we can see the MG arc is, you're probably not going to want to run into support. So good move right there, I suppose. Engineers finally reinforced, but the riflemen here are not doing too well, getting gunned down. Volksgrenadiers have the advantage at range. And of course question is in some cases, how do you keep the enemy at range? Well, you try to use barbed wire and keep the sandbags in a nice open space so they can't so easily get up close. More riflemen arriving, engineers as well, and looks like Bunnytester is sort of shifting towards the east, taking what he can there, ignoring the Wehrmacht positions there. Further Volksgrenadiers arriving from the 91st Luftlande Division, while the others are heading northwards to take points there. And these chaps, oh dear, they look like they might be engaged, but riflemen in a rather healthy position. I know they're getting into the building, and there we go, into the administrative building of the worker barracks, and catching the riflemen in a nasty position, forcing them to get away. This building is rather useful for infantry. It has a lot of windows. Lots of windows means it's good for infantry. Not so many windows, or at least awkwardly placed windows like this one, means it's better suited for machine guns. Then again, you have to be careful so it's not like here, where you can easily pop down something like a flamethrower right next to it and begin burning everyone inside. Such tactical things have to be kept in mind. Lots of riflemen, it seems, for our friend the Bunnytester. Volksgrenadiers getting engaged out in the open. Pioneers laying down mines, although now Mr. Bunnytester, if he's a smart chap, will probably be noticing, yes, there's mine going down. If he's not so smart, he probably won't, and forget it and run something right into it. MG42 setting up in the administrative building, opening up on the riflemen, suppressing them, forcing them away. What shall Bunnytester ever do? Instead, he will continue to harass in these, while a minor force ties down the most of China's forces, or the 91st Luftlande Division's forces. Not a bad idea, and currently Bunnytester is in fact securing himself most of the map. Good move here, although he needs to stop these Volksgrenadiers here in the center from taking too much territory back. Whatever is he doing, one wonders. Looks like China is expecting the armored cars. Why is he doing that? Well, again, it's sort of the thing you usually look at the riflemen for. If they don't within a certain time period have BARs, you're probably going to have to expect them. They're going for armored cars. So you usually do that. If you're seeing BARs, you can usually go for more units from the tier 1, the Wehrmacht quarters, or go for the Krieg barracks and get some grenadiers to deal with it. And of course you can still go for some grenadiers, but you really have to be careful lest an M8 gets the drop on you and do some nasty things. A mine laid down there by Bunnytester, but the Volksgrenadiers narrowly avoided, and we are seeing a weapon center going up instead. That's going to be interesting. Interesting indeed. Mines being laid down by Bunnytester on all points and angles. Riflemen charging in against the Volksgrenadiers. Volksgrenadiers laying down a sandbag to protect themselves. Grenade lobbed by Bunnytester. He's researched grenades, and the Volksgrenadiers take quite a pasting. Heavy losses. The riflemen here also pushing forwards, but they take... oh dear. Volksgrenadier team is killed. Good show there. Good show there. Meaning one less Volksgrenadier team for China, and he's getting some more proper grenadiers now. One grenadier goes down though, and near his own base. Quite unfortunate. The riflemen firing away in light cover, while the grenadiers only have no cover in fact. And grenadiers are now lobbing a grenade of their own. And some riflemen go down. The rest are wounded. Grenadiers are pretty tough, but at the same time you don't want to have them stand out in the open. They're not that tough either, and while they do more damage and are more accurate, you still want them to actually survive, as they are slightly more expensive to recuperate. Engineers pushing onwards, lots of flamethrowers, lots of other nasty business. Riflemen reinforcing so far. A good move by Bunnytester, rather attacking from several angles, sort of circling about the area, sort of going for the path of least resistance. And he's gone infantry doctrine, since his riflemen are laying down mines. That's usually the indication of infantry doctrine. More grenadiers arriving, ready to counter-attack. Of course, they might run into a mine, and of course, this heavy expenditure of munitions at the same time also means that while he's going for grenades, he can't really use grenades. A lot either, but then again, mines can also do quite well. And oh dear, Pioneer team were lost. You don't want to be blowing right into a mine, and you want to be careful in these cases, but then again, good movement by Bunnytester, rather aggressive mining. In fact, just figuring, well, I can't hold this, so I might just mine it and make my opponent pay for it even more. In this case, he managed to take out an entire Pioneer team. That's going to be a very heavy cost. Volkswagen is holding the line. Not an awful lot, but there's a Kampfkraft sensor up, so that might have caused me to veterans force infantry. And of course, now he's forced to take these points back with the Grenadiers. Grenadiers, though, are pretty good at seizing territory, about as effective as American riflemen, but still, in these cases, you don't want them to be doing that. You want them to actually be fighting the Americans. But oh dear, looks like our friend Bunnytester hits the mines as well. But now pushing into the center once more, and a mortar firing in support of him. The MG42 gets away, rather figuring that it doesn't like mortars rather than getting gunned down. What shall our friend Bunnytester do now? Of course, going for the mortar is not a bad idea in these cases, but then again, also sort of circling about your enemy, finding the weak spots, going there and laying down mines is certainly a great idea as well, as you just saw. Of course, question is now, how will Bunnytester carry it on, and what will Chinas32 try to do to break out of this rather unfortunate situation? Getting infantry veterancy, getting lots of grenadiers. Apparently, he now has 3 grenadier teams. Engaging the engineers right in there, and they won't survive long against these 8 grenadiers if they don't get out of there. Veterancy 1, of course, means that the Wehrmacht troops will slowly heal themselves. Good, more mines by the engineers, and more mines being hit by Pioneers. This time, though, they survive. At least one does. One is better than none, and lots of mines right there, leaving nothing to chance. Panzerschrecks getting upgraded for the Grenadiers, and oh dear, mines hit again. Mr. Chinas32, and looks like the mortar team actually hit a mine. A bit silly there. Volksgrenadiers are still doing nothing, it seems, and I recommend his Pioneers. You get some Pioneers and get some minesweepers, otherwise those mines will take out a lot for, well, barely any cost. Now we are seeing a Trier center going up to sort of help Bunnytester heal his own troops, and of course keeping your troops fit for the fight can really make a difference in the long run. Otherwise you might suddenly find yourself with a rifleman team that goes down to one volley of a Volksgrenadier force. Securing the center, lots of Grenadiers clumped up. Pioneers going down to mines. My goodness, Bunnytester has mined quite obscenely, but certainly not inefficiently. Fresh Pioneers being trained, and veterancy 2 now for the infantry, although again a part of me suspects if he perhaps didn't want to go for the Sturmarmory first, perhaps get a heavy armored car or a Stug in this case, rather than sort of get more infantry that's going to just get chewed up by the mortar. And all of this infantry charging ahead, engineers, riflemen, large force, and now BAR's Grenadiers going down in huge numbers and retreating quite succinctly, quite swiftly, not wanting to stay behind. And let us go look at Bunnytester. What is he doing so far? Infantry doctrine, obviously. Mortar team, word supply yard, decreasing the upkeep, although an upgrade would certainly help in the longer run. But 3 infantry teams, a mortar, and lots of engineers, several of them with flamethrowers. The engineers sort of being used to seize territory and mine, barbed wire, sandbags, tank traps, although Bunnytester doesn't seem to be laying down anything of those latter ones. Grenadiers getting together once more, and some false grenadiers laying down some sandbags right there, sort of waiting. Chinas32 already seems to be a bit uncertain of what to do. Engineers charging right down in the center, getting fired upon by the false grenadiers, and getting away, although one gets shot down. Grenadiers engaging the riflemen here. Veterancy 2 means, of course, oh dear, grenades being exchanged. Grenadiers run straight into the grenades, but they manage to not get killed. The riflemen, on the other hand, are not quite so fortunate in this exchange. Fuel points once more getting harassed. Good move there by Bunnytester, always trying to deny his opponent the fuel. Grenadiers not entirely too comfortable with this, not entirely sure how to react, and currently the American does have the advantage. While these units are able to seize territory, he's basically able to cap where his opponent isn't, and his opponent needs to sort of focus up his troops, otherwise he won't be able to get enough firepower down on these riflemen with the BARs. And he rather needs something that can increase the amount of firepower he can get down on them, like a half-track or an armored car or something, but he needs to be quick about it. Trying to put down an observation post, but that quickly went badly. Volksgrenadiers getting mortared. They need to get away. There we go. MG42 covering this area, but not having much luck with it. China AS32 doing not too well at this stage.
Building complete.
American commander has pretty much, and he's continuing to lay down mines. China AS32 seems to be continuing to... Oh, wait, there you go. Minesweeper. Grenadiers engaging the riflemen. Riflemen taking up pasting this time around, it seems. Though for how long it will last. Quite some losses right there. More grenadiers arriving. This is some serious grenadier force spamming. 4 grenadier teams. That's close to at least a squad or 2. The 91st Luftlande division throwing in all of its troops. Medic station going up in the center. Grenadiers continue to hit mines. Minesweepers not really sweeping for mines actually, and more mines going down there. Another mine hits. You'd think he'd be getting more minesweepers, but apparently not. Riflemen moving through there. Germans finally able to secure some territory, but they keep hitting the mines. My goodness, no minesweepers. Riflemen getting suppressed, and Grenadiers moving in to put a stop to that. And engineers hiding in all of these buildings, denying them to the Wehrmacht, and in this case at least ensuring that if you get too close you're going to get burned alive.
Taking one of our points.
But pushing through in the east finally, but really I'm not too comfortable with him sending in low health, low number squads in, because they'll just get blown to bits by their next mine and thus completely lost, in particular when it's a Panzerschreck. Don't lose your Panzerschrecks, mate. Trying to engage here, but there's a mortar right behind it. Oh dear, these grenadiers need to be quick to shift about. Mortar rounds beginning to land close to them. Bunker going up. A bit awfully late, I might argue. Grenadiers getting away. No mortars for the Wehrmacht friend. No, don't move them in like that. Retreat them. Oh dear. Unit preservation, mate. And now he's getting veterancy 3. I mean, I see a lot of players nowadays spam lots of grenadiers and then get veterancy 3. And then I see a lot of them also failing quite miserably, because again they're sort of placing themselves in a sort of situation that doesn't really change because they can't break through. There's simply too much fire being arranged against them, and they don't get this one thing that might break them up, something mechanized or motorized. That's rather a bit of a problem. Grenades getting blocked. Bunnytester getting rather aggressive. Grenades being blocked at him. Some losses right there. Point being taken right there. Bunker up by China AS32. Grenadiers pushing onwards for the fatherland. The 91st Luftlande division not caring about any sort of more integral support elements, like a mortar, for example, to counter-mortar that mortar. Right up there, 6 kills so far, keeping his grenadiers clumped up once more. Riflemen though taking quite a beating, grenades being flung, and the riflemen get away before that happens. And the mortar rounds begin to fall amongst the grenadiers.
The Germans are moving in.
And the Germans are pushing through these, the 91st Luftlande, but the Americans are swift to counterattack. Artillery being prepared, no ranges though. And these grenadiers are getting burned alive. Veterancy 2 grenadiers, and above that with elite armor are more susceptible to flamethrowers. Keep that in mind. Grenadiers pushing onwards. We're seeing a German mortar as well. Granatenwerfer 34. And medic bunkers up. We'll probably get a lot to pick up soon, because those grenadiers are awfully clumped up and susceptible to mortar fire. What shall the German mortar do? Shall it bombard the American mortar, which has gained veterancy 1 this stage? American medics pulling in the wounded. German medics are still holding a break. But Volksgrenadiers are having success in the east, since the Americans are rather focused now on the west. Finally, apparently, Bunnytester has got enough infantry to finally make some sort of a breakthrough, but no. Bunnytester has other plans. An M4 Sherman tank with a 50 caliber machine gun is ready to show those crowds how you actually play war.
Supply lines are broken. We have territory.
American mortar getting away just before the German mortars get bombarding it, or possibly moving it before, who knows, or after. Now the German mortar has to be careful it does not get mortared itself, which looks like it will be happening. Sherman engaging the Volksgrenadiers. Grenadiers clumping up. Why does he have to clump up like that? Why can't he at least spread them out a bit? And Why can't he be a bit more aggressive? I mean, he barely holds any territory, and currently the Americans have pushed through in the east with an assault spearheaded by a Sherman. He really needs to secure some territory again. Rifleman going down, Rifleman running away, mortar pulling back, but not completely. Still providing a bit of cover fire. They're going to harass the Germans while they try to take some territory. Good move there. Sherman moving towards the west. Sherman beginning to engage. The pioneers are laid down an observation post. Not entirely sure why he's so keen on this, since it's rather exposed. And not even a high munitions point, like say, oh, I don't know, this one. Engineers inside the barracks are getting gunned up and will be forced to retreat. Sherman also slightly pulling back since he knows there's going to be Panzertreks nearby. Not a bad move. Lots of Panzertreks for his infantry, it seems. Infantry getting mortared. Another Sherman on the way, and I do believe it's time for the mid-game analysis. What is the current situation? Well, for the 91st Luftlande Division, pretty terrible. He's not really pushing forward when he could. He had all right with the mines in the start, but then sort of things fell through. Bunnytester was simply too aggressive, too bold for him to keep up with, and he simply had quite a bit, lots of engineers to sort of break through the defenses, take points, and mine them, and our friend from the 91st simply did not get minesweepers. That was pretty terrible. Now, in this case, though, he's simply being too passive. He's clumping up his infantry, but he's not really moving it out, trying to take what territory he can. And that's just not working for him. Now the Americans are breaking through again, making gains, because again, he's not presenting himself as a credible threat. So Bunnytester is basically moving most of his forces to just take territory, while Chinas32 is sort of sitting around, not entirely sure what to do with this huge veteran C3 Grenadier force. And Bunnytester is getting more Shermans to really provide quite a threat. A Pak 38 is up, but again, I can't really help but escape the feeling that I've gotten a Sturm Armory or perhaps a Panzer Command might have done better in the longer run. Anyhow, so let's return to the fight. Let us see if Chinas32 will be trying to break the bloody hell out of there. Pak 38 advancing Grenadiers. Looks like they might have a plan in mind. Do they? Volksgrenadiers also getting ready. Pak 38 setting up, ready to open up on the Sherman. There we go. Grenadiers still apparently unsure what to do. They're not focusing on the Sherman. The Sherman pulls out the... And now he seems to be ignoring the northern edge. Again, And now he's sort of clumping up his Grenadiers again for an assault in the south. Forcing the Riflemen out of there. Someone seems to be dying, but I guess that's an engineer. No, it was the mortar that got knocked out by the German mortar. Sherman pushes through in the north, and of course, Mr. Chinas32 will not be quite aware of Bunnytester's second Sherman. But there we go. Sherman charging ahead. Pak 38 is going to need to react to this. Grenadiers advancing. It's taking minor losses. Pak 38 moving ahead to deal with the other Sherman. Grenadiers slowing up. Having once more, it seems, lost all vigor, all movement. And now he's moving them back again. Shermans are advancing on the Pak 38. Only one Pak and two Shermans. That's not going to end up happily for the Pak. MG gun inside this old building. And there we go, Grenadiers charging in. Rifles firing. Will they be able to get the shot on the Sherman? A few shots connect. But the Pak 38 is cleared out. Riflemen are retreating. Grenadiers are clumped up. Other Sherman, though, a bit too close. It needs to get out of there. It clears out the MG42, but will it make it out of there? Oh dear. Rather heavy damage. But the engine is still functional. It can still get out of there. Medics pulling in the wounded. Although the medic might soon get gunned down by the vengeful Grenadiers. But they move within flamethrower range. Another Sherman ready. More engineers on the field. Small engagements here on the right. And just quite a few Shermans. But currently China AS32 is not really doing too well. He's awfully clumped up, cramped within his base. Let us... Oh, wait, I wasn't supposed to turn that off. Let us go have a look. And he's gone defensive. Again, he's not really going for the doctrine that actually helps him to sort of try and make for the breakout. Instead, he's going for the one that would actually allow him to hold a large amount of territory with less amounts of forces. But no, he's going for the one that doesn't really help him break out and make any sort of decent assault. That's what you call an unfortunately bad idea. Grenadiers getting engaged though. Lots of riflemen with BARs, some all veteran troops. Shermans moving in to support as well. Grenadiers remanning the Pack 38. Others making a hasty retreat. Sherman opening up. Panzerschrecks flying. Riflemen going down. Sherman gets hit. Sherman needs to pull out of there. Although it does seem to have some luck in clearing out the Grenadiers. But no, it's... choose a rather bad movement right there. And looks like some heavy losses for China AS32 as well, though lots of Grenadiers dying, although the medics might pull in the wounded. MG42 almost cleared out. But that was a bit of a waste of a Sherman, and probably would have fared better had he waited with the other Shermans to get them in.
Yes, sir.
More Pack 38s are arriving. Lots of Panzerschrecks, lots of Grenadiers getting reinforced. And Flak 88s now being on the program, it seems. Medics pulling in the wounded as usual. Volksgrenadiers keep hitting on those mines. Sherman heading eastwards. And looks like a howitzer is getting prepared by Bunnytester, who's certainly keen on delivering the final crushing blow. Supply yard upgrade number 1. Not bad.
Ready.
And we hear the crack of the howitzer. Where should it be hitting? Right here. Coincidentally near all of these clumped up German troops. Although he's obviously going for the medic bunker, that being a priority target. And he's certainly getting a few good hits on it. Looks like our American friend is making ready for an assault in the east once more. Riflemen providing covering position from here. Didn't really manage much against that medic bunker though. The building right behind it allowed it, did absorb some of the fire. And these riflemen inside there are taking quite a beating. Mortars and lots of Grenadiers doing quite a bit of damage, forcing the riflemen away. But in the east, the Americans are making for a daring assault. Although his... oh dear, his howitzer is a bit exposed. Those Grenadiers could be charging right at it, and a mortar's left behind as well. And Dunlock was apparently killed. Oh dear. This is not good. His howitzer is quite exposed, and the Grenadiers are moving in for the kill. Panzerschreck number 1 connects, and number 2, artillery being called in, but it's not going to be enough. Those Grenadiers will be leaving as soon as that howitzer is gone, and there we go. The Grenadiers will not be taking much of a beating there.
We are losing ground.
A bit of a waste of an artillery strike right there, I'd say. Sherman though moves in, and Grenadiers charging right past all of this, but this Sherman, why is he sending in? It's unsupported, and now of course it's getting hit by a Pack 38. Bunnytester, do be more careful with your Shermans. And a Flak 88 is up. It's getting charged ahead, but there's no smoke cover, even though he could have recruited that mortar. Things are rather exposed, so this is not looking good. And for the Fatherland is up, decreasing damage taken. This is not going well, but looks like Bunnytester is throwing everything in it. Flak 88 has been cleared out and knocked out by the Pack 38, thus securing that Flak 88 will not be firing anymore. That was not quite the masterful assault. I mean, had you recruited that mortar, perhaps dropped down to smoke, things would have gone a lot better. But still, China AS32 hasn't really managed to break out again due to sort of lack of mechanized weaponry to really help him with a breakthrough and really provide some firepower. Then keep on going. He doesn't even have a half track. Volksgrenadiers keep on hitting mines. And once more, Chinas32 just seems awfully passive. He's not trying to break out and not really trying any sort of aggressive movements, and he's constantly getting stopped because again when he finally does, it's been too much time, and Bunnytester is once more ready to launch another assault, and apparently he's ready to get another more howitzer, figuring that well, one howitzer does not succeed, another one will, or at least succeed long enough. Grenadiers blobbing up again. He's not really getting much out of it that way. He needs to be more aggressive. He needs to be able to take a lot of territory at once and sort of blobbing them up. It's not going to help in the long run, in particular when our American friend holds most of the territory and when he's just continuing to lay down mines. Howitzer once more opens up. Machine gun bunker now up as well to sort of protect this area, though it can't cover the victory point. And the Grenadiers obviously hit the mines. Sherman covering, although there's a bit too many Grenadiers with Panzerschecks. But the Sherman pulls out. Oh dear, a bit too long to turn around there, but apparently the Grenadiers ignore it. Bunkers right here getting quite hit. Yet they are still standing due to the defensive doctrine and its abilities. And again he's clumping about. Get moving! Chinas32, be the pride of the fatherland, not the guy that just stands about. And he's continuing to put down an observation post on this medium munitions point, which is rather exposed to the enemy. Again, I have no idea why he's doing that, but I'm not liking it. And it looks like Bunnytester is getting ready for another assault, having gotten some more riflemen, in fact, possibly from this medic station. Sort of arraying all of his defenses at this victory point in sort of a line right at the edge of the map. Mortar opening up, probably in these American riflemen. Still, oh wait, there we go, he's recruiting this mortar. Good show. Just what the doctor asked for, not the German one, of course. And once more, this observation post is going to get knocked out because again, it's rather exposed. And another bunker going down, but the pioneers were cleared out. And once more he seems to be using, well, manpower on something that he's not really going to have much luck for at the moment. Again, why he doesn't go for something a bit more serious. Then again, he goes for a registered artillery barrage. Yes, indeed. And will Bunnytester notice? No! He does not. Oh dear, Bunnytester. Oh, that was all the engineers right there. Except one engineer team. That was quite dreadful. Not much luck otherwise for Mr. Chinas32. He did manage a bit with that registered artillery barrage, but that was about it. Sherman getting repaired, riflemen getting patched up. All quiet on the Western Front, somewhere in France. Whatever shall they do? Again, I mean, I'm rather not liking that Mr. Finally, he's getting the assault phase and perhaps getting a Sturm armory so he can actually break out. I mean, he needs something like an assault unit, like a, oh, I don't know, an assault gun to perhaps help break out. Sherman moves in, rifleman charging ahead, his Grenadiers once more moving forwards. American mortar was once more cleared out. Wasn't quite aware of the German mortar, it seems. Rifleman charging ahead. Howitzer opening up, perhaps on suspected German infantry positions. Oh, he's firing at where they first are, not where he's expecting them to go. Oh, wait, is he? Well, that was one Grenadier team right lost there. Okay, I have absolutely no idea why he's actually firing his artillery. But generally you want to be sort of firing where you're expecting them to go, not where they currently are, otherwise they're obviously just going to move away and not get hit. The tricky bit is to sort of try and trick them into their going to a safe area and then hitting them. Germans actually pushing through here in the center, rather interestingly, and narrowly dodging these mines. My goodness, Chinas32 does not have much luck with the mines, keeps on hitting them. The Grenadier team is finally reformed. And these Full Grenadiers are not going to be having much of a happier time. German advances, and they hit the mine on the retreat. Looks like this Volksgrenadier team might not make it back to the fatherland and see Germany once more. Grenadiers advancing through the center. American mortar once more recruit. Gets out of there. Artillery going down right in the center. Does not hit anything. Quite the strongest use of artillery, although an off-map combat group might soon be to come. No Rangers though. No Rangers at all. But finally getting the Sturm Armory, much too late I'd say.
The Germans are after one of our munitions.
And now hitting the Grenadiers with the one howitzer he has. Not quite the most useful use of artillery, not quite efficient. But engaging right there, pushing through in the east once more. Chinas32 once more unable to really defend it because again he's climbing up all of his troops, not really gaining much traction with it. Grenadiers forced away, German mortar awfully wounded. MD42 firing in support. Machine gun bunker is lost. Wagner though gets suppressed. And supply yard upgrade number 2, good show there. Bunnytester, although you could call in an off-map combat group, which tends to be a pretty good deal since you get a lot of units for less of the cost than they're actually worth. In particular when you're floating that much manpower. Get it. But apparently Bunnytester has better things to do than actually getting more units onto the field. Grenades being locked at the Volksgrenadiers, but the Volksgrenadiers get away, rather figuring what's going to be happening. Get it!
They have 200 points left.
Mortar team narrowly avoids a mortar round, a mortar shell.
Field artillery here.
Oh dear, all quiet once more. The Americans seem to sort of tiptoeing around and floating a ridiculous amount of resources. Use it. Oh dear, that mortar got knocked out and gained veteran infantry for that infantry team. Artillery going in on the medic bunker, I suspect. And elsewhere. Wait, no, that was actually the off-map combat group giving him an T-17, a heavy machine gun, some more riflemen and an anti-tank gun. And looks like the Germans are making a breakthrough in the center. Grenadiers charging ahead after so long. They're finally making a move. Flamethrowers burn away. Medic station down. German medic bunker is up though. T-17 charges ahead. Medic engineers lost. Securing the victory point, finally. And looks like we got a Nebelwerfer though, not a Stug or a Puma. Sherman gets hit a bit, but it doesn't take much damage. The riflemen on the other hand get pinned and dying. And looks like the Grenadiers here are not really able to hold this territory. They're not focusing up when they actually need to. Now they're spreading out. I mean, come on.
Germans are seizing territory.
There's a time for spreading out, and there's a time for grouping up, but still not blobbing up. And this was the time for grouping up, not spreading out and taking territory while the rest of the bunch get killed. My goodness, Chinas32, you seem to really have lost it here by the end.
Incoming, get down!
And another registered artillery barrage, but this time Bunnytester notices what's going on and gets away. Interestingly, the mine doesn't take a single bit of damage. Odd. Could be a bug. But Grenadiers and Volksgrenadiers getting reinforced once more for the I don't know which time. But at least he's managed to secure some victory points, at least for the time being. Artillery once more going in on the medic bunker, and yes indeed, go away from the medic bunker when it's under artillery attack. German advances becomes under fire from the Pak 38. T-17 in dire need of repairs. And he's getting another Nebelwerfer, not something like, say, oh, I don't know, a Stug, Geschützwagen, Sonderkraftfahrzeug, something that can actually push the assault.
Enemy unit down.
And looks like something was killed over there. I suspect the Volksgrenadiers. And a fresh Sherman for Bunnytester, really calling upon the Infantry Division Sherman tanks. And yes, an American Sherman Infantry Division would actually have a complement of tanks. I believe it was about a company. Or was it a battalion? But certainly, yes, I think it was a battalion of Sherman tanks. Every American infantry division actually had a nice complement of tanks, so there you go. Riflemen getting suppressed. 30 caliber machine gun opening up. Mortar rounds flying as well. Nebelwerfer sitting in the center, but not enough. The Americans secure it. Grenadiers holding the line, but it is not enough, I fear. Mortar rounds landing amongst them. Riflemen charging ahead. Grenadiers lobbed. Riflemen stopped by the MG42 though. And still no such thing as a Stug or a Puma which could push onwards, secure things. And a bit of security right there in the center. And the T-17 actually got knocked out. Still not looking good for the Germanic friend. The Americans quite simply has the greater advantage at this stage. Chinas32 was simply not aggressive enough and not careful enough with his troops. At the same time, rather interestingly. And rather bad choice of doctrine, not one that actually helped him to attack. Not something like involving a Stu-42, a Tiger or a King Tiger. So obviously did not really manage to push forwards that much. The Nebelwerfer was once more howling in vain against the American forces. Bombarding the center, making life miserable for that engineer team. Well, that's about it. But also trying to do a bit of damage here. The mortar team actually gets hit a bit. Gets scorched a bit toasty. But that's about it. Grenadier blob once more gets ready.
Taking hits.
Also very quiet. Let us speed things up a bit. Let's see what happens. Engagement here as the Grenadiers are charging once more ahead. Veterans C3 riflemen. Oh, use them. Bunnytester, use them. They are quite a force to be reckoned with. Actually going in on the Grenadiers and they are retreating. Except one which wants to take that central last victory point for the fatherland. And GG from the 91st Luftlande Division. Rather realizing it lost against the 4th.
Enemy unit down.
We're going too much fire. We have the.
And there we go, game over, a victory for the Americans. The 91st Luftlande Division, despite the aid of lots of Grenadiers and Nebelwerfers, was unable to secure a victory. So what went wrong here? Well, in the case of our friend Chinas32, the problem was rather that partly he went too heavily defensive. I mean, lots of Grenadiers veterans he good, but he didn't really use them aggressively. I mean, he could have, but sadly he blocked them up, which was partly a problem. Then again, there was the problem in actually getting the mines dealt with too much time until he got a minesweeper, then he didn't use it. Constantly getting observation posts on a point that was too exposed and didn't really give you enough munitions out of it when you did. Again, bad. Lots of Grenadiers with pentrix, but he wasn't really able to press through with them. He was much too defensive, had them standing about when he could have been moving them about, seizing territory, and then when finally he was doing it and got attacked, he let them just sort of fight separately, piecemeal, instead of trying to get them together to a coherent force and fight the enemy. A lot of flaws right there. I mean, we did see something good in the start, but then he sort of threw it all away. And then he got the Sturm Armory, but he didn't get anything that could actually help him with the attack. And of course, the choice of defensive rather than blitzkrieg or terror didn't quite suit him well either. I mean, he went for the defensive one when he needed something that could actually help him be aggressive, take territory, not hold it. On the other hand, we did see Bunnytester be quite useful there, seizing around in a nice arc right about his opponent. Tightening the noose, laying down lots of mines, made it rather difficult for Chinas32 to take territory back. Good moves there, very good in fact. Medic station, and sort of holding the center in a very vice-like grip for quite some time. Good show. Howitzers was a good choice, although this one was quite unfortunately knocked out rather on. And of course, good usage of the Germans rather made things difficult for our friend of the Wehrmacht. So all in all, interesting game, but really some nasty flaws from Chinas32, and I do hope you learn from his failures before he's sent to the Eastern Front. So there you go. Hope you enjoyed, and cheers.